we're down here in the cold room underneath our cabin. You can see it's about 50 degrees down here. We have a bunch of potatoes from last year still left over, so we need to get those processed. Today, I'm going to show you 3 different ways that we can them up. Now, as you can see, these potatoes haven't sprouted very much. They're still in really good shape. But the first thing I'm going to do is take a bunch of these potatoes out and bag them up for some of my friends because they're going to need seed potatoes. And we have lots of taters, so we might as well share, right? And we'll set some aside for us. Anything that is hooey gooey, like this guy, he's gonna probably go to the pigs. And then anything that's still nice size like this one, we'll keep down here in the cold room until next harvest season so we can have French fries and baked potatoes. So let me get all this separated and then I will meet you up in the kitchen and we'll see if we can't find a handsome husband to carry all these taters upstairs for us. This is kind of our tater washing setup, which would be the next step and probably the longest and most laborious step. If you see, here I'll show you up close. We keep all the dirt on our potatoes. It acts just like a coating and it keeps it protected. 1, from marring the skin, and 2, they kind of maybe think they're still underground. Like look, there's no sprouting happening whatsoever on these potatoes. It's the way we've always done it. I know lots of people do it different ways, but that's the way we do it, is keep the dirt on there. And so it does make quite a big mess, and it takes a while to scrub all this stuff off. Now I keep this extra bowl in the bottom of our sink because we haul our own water. And so the less water that goes down the drain without being used a lot, the better off we are. And so I can kind of use that as a pre-sink, as a pre-soak, and as I'm rinsing taters, then that water just gets caught in that bowl and I can kind of use it twice. Anything that is big like this one, we are going to put in one bin. And anything teeny tiny like this one, we're going to put in this other bin. Thanks, honey.
You bet.
Woohoo!
We still got about 100 pounds or so down there between seed potatoes and what we're still going to use.
Yeah, all right. Yep. Now I want to make sure that these potatoes are super cleaned off, that there's no dirt on them, because the approved method for canning potatoes is that you take the skin off, but we don't do that in our kitchen. You should do what you're comfortable with in your kitchen. But this is just going to kind of be the first scrubbing, and then we will make one more rinse through to make sure we got all the dirt off. All right, after an hour and a half, one scrubber casualty, and Mr. Reeve and I tag teaming all these potatoes, we finally got them all scrubbed down. I'm gonna give them one more final rinse, and then we'll finally be ready to put them in jars. All right, final rinse cycle here, guys. I wanna show you the potatoes that didn't make the cut. The potatoes I'm not gonna put in a canning jar. Now these first 2 will still eat them, but I'm not putting them in a jar and gonna pressure can them. This one has a cut in it, and so the flesh has been exposed the whole time it's been in the cold room. And so who knows what's gotten into this potato that I'm going to pressure can. So we're just going to cut that part out and see if the rest is good, and then we'll eat it with dinner or breakfast or whatever. But it's not going to go in a canning jar. And also, this is a potato scab on here. It's not anything yucky. It's just where the skin had gotten kind of marred. And there's lots of little crevices and stuff in there. And lots of dirt and debris and stuff can hide in there. And I'm not sure that I can scrub all that out. So that's also not going to go in a canning jar. Here's the last one. This one has a teeny tiny little hole in it. And I'm glad I was kind of inspecting these because probably a worm had eaten that you know, 6-7 months ago. So this one is not gonna go in the canning jar or in the breakfast plate. Okay, so we're gonna tag team it here. Yeah.
She's bossing me around. Come
yeah.
help, husband.
You get to use the new favorite cutting board.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't mar up the sides, okay?
Oh.
Yeah. All right, so you cut potatoes to the size you want. So I guess I should tell you what we're doing, right? Okay, so we're gonna make 3 different kinds of potatoes. One is going to can for 90 minutes. Yeah, because we're gonna do quarts. So we're going to start that first, and then we will work on the other 2 types of canned potatoes. We're going to make Mr. Reeve some pre-made breakfast burrito mix or skillet breakfast mix.
Yeah.
And so he's going to cut potatoes the size you want for making breakfasts. And I'm going to mix up some pork sausage to go in the canning jars. So Mr. Reeve was real nice to me, and he batted his eyelashes. So there was originally only going to be 3 pounds of pork sausage in this recipe, but now there's 4. Yeah, and I didn't buy like store-bought pork sausage because I don't know all the, well, you know, all the ingredients that are in it, and I'm not sure that all those are suitable for canning. And so this is just fresh ground pork and some seasoning that we mixed last time we processed a pig, and I have no idea what's in it, so it's just going in there.
Looks yummy. You like it?
Yeah.
So I can't cut these guys too small, right? Because they'll just end up as mush?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe like 3/4 of an inch, whatever you would do for skillet potatoes.
Okay.
And that'll be just fine. So I'm gonna get this mixed up, and then we're gonna pre-brown it. Because if you put raw ground meat in a canning jar and can it, it's just gonna come out like a big lump. So we want it all in little pieces so that Mr. Reeve will be happy. So
I'll be happy.
he'll be happy.
Like that?
Gosh, I don't know how to tell you what's in my brain. Like skillet size. Like that. Okay, show them. No, don't cut it again. Like big chunks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, show them.
That's a big mammer. That's like JoJo potatoes right there.
Yeah, because this is gonna, JoJo potato size. That's JoJo potato size. That's the size we're gonna cut for this. Because if you cut it any smaller than that, we're pressure canning this for 90 minutes, which is hooey mama a long time. Or that might be a lie. I better check. Might be 75 minutes.
I like how you look at me like I know anything about the times.
I better find out. Okay, I'm gonna find out, and I'm gonna finish getting this mixed. Perfect.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're doing good. Nice job, husband.
Don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. Okay, my canning brain was right. We are canning these for 90 minutes because it has meat in it. So, I'm just going to brown up this sausage while Mr. Reeve keeps cutting up taters. And then we'll be on to the next step. Will you hand me one of the cutting boards out of there?
I saw you lining that stuff up. I figured I was about to lose my chance to use your fancy business.
No, you can use it.
You need a chicken cutting board. There you go.
For vegetables?
Okay, I'm sorry. How about a mater?
That's better. Thank you. So we're just gonna fill this bowl as full as we can get it. We're cutting up the medium-sized potatoes, not the little ones. We're gonna save those for one of our other projects. And we're gonna add, I think 6 peppers maybe of just mixed red and orange and green bell peppers, and 4 jalapenos. And I'd like more onions, but that means that a very nice husband has to go to the cold room and get some more onions because...
Dude, I'll go down to the cold room for onions.
Yeah? Can you bring up 4 more? So we're going to put like 6.5 onions in here because Mr. Reeve likes onions.
Loves onions.
Loves onions, yeah. Oh, I wanted to show you something.
Show me something?
Yeah, see?
What?
I can find it. Whatever.
You lost it.
I did lose it in all of our shuffle here.
You've lost it, all right.
Look at how... What?
Nothing.
I heard you. Let me put one of these pounds of sausage back. Smarty pants.
It's too late. It's in the pan now. I can be a smart aleck again.
Oh, don't. No, I'll put it in the freezer. You know it. Look at. This is how much of a cheapskate we are. This is one tiny potato.
We harvested it.
We harvested, so we ain't gonna throw it away. It's going in there. Yeah. But it's not shriveled up or sprouted or anything. Here, I'll bring you close so you can see. I guess I'll bring it close. Look at how tiny it is. It's so cute.
Don't leave that spud in the ground.
I know, right? I know, I can't believe we saved that.
That's funny.
Well, I can believe we saved that.
What are you trying to say?
I'll tell you, we got 465 pounds of potatoes last year.
Almost enough.
Almost enough. But as you get past like The first 100, you're real excited. You're like, yeah, taters. And then you're like, this is ridiculous. So I guarantee you that tiny potato had to have come from the first 100.
Beginning?
Yeah, because after that you're like, it's big as a grapefruit. You're like, that's too small. Leave it in the garden. Yeah.
I think this year we gotta come after Josh from Southern Roots Alaska Branches.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mr. Josh from Southern Roots Alaska Branches. He is a channel, and he lives in North Pole, Alaska, which is north from here. And he grew 1,800 pounds of potatoes, like in his backyard. That's a lot of taters, and he's a very lovely man, and so he donated most of it to his church and to his community. But that's a lot of taters to dig up, boys. I'll tell you that. I think he had like 9 rows of potatoes. No, we do not need to compete with Josh.
We're coming for you this year, Josh.
No, we're not. Don't listen to him.
Daniel, look at this guy. He's trying to grow.
He is trying to grow. Too bad. Sorry, friend. You ain't gonna live. So I turned the pork off, the pork sausage. It's about 70 to 80% of the way cooked. You don't have to cook it all the way before you put it in if you're going to pressure can it, but you do need it to cook up enough where it's not going to stick together. It's not all ooey gooey still. So, we got the...
Not supposed to be ooey gooey like a cookie?
Not supposed to be ooey gooey.
Dude, this was the most ingenious idea. I really am excited about this.
You are?
Yeah.
Good.
Super fresh. This is my favorite.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
So here's my justification for this, because like I said, this isn't an approved canning recipe, yada yada, all the things. The ingredient that has to be in, the ingredient that's going in the jar that has to cook or pressure can for the longest amount of time is the pork. So pork, sausage, or ground pork, or sliced pork, or meat in general outside of fish has to cook pressure can for 10 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes. Okay, so as long as all the other ingredients in the jar cook for a lesser time than that, then theoretically, at least in my kitchen mind, which might be dangerous,
We haven't died.
We haven't died. That should be safe, right? At least it's safe in my kitchen and for my pantry. So that's my justification on this deal. And it means that we have quick, easy things to cook when we're out of time or don't have time for breakfast, or if I go to work early and Mr. Reeves here by himself and he wants to make breakfast or breakfast burritos, he can, without making a giant mess in the kitchen. And which
you don't realize how often I make breakfast.
I know.
Because I don't leave the kitchen messy.
Well, I appreciate that.
But I leave the mess to all the other rooms.
Fair. That is accurate. It takes a meal that would take half an hour. So, man, potatoes take a long time to fry. So, like 40 minutes and turns it into a 10-minute cook time. So, that
We'll
is
also
awesome.
probably have to add cheese.
Yeah. Not in the canning jar, though.
No sense of adventure. I know. You married me.
We live off-grid in the middle of the woods.
I know it's boring. Everybody does that.
All right, my dear. Will you dry those off for me?
Mm-hmm.
I decided I had to switch aprons because that was a very dirty tater apron.
Tater washing apron.
Tater washing apron. Mr.
Tater
Reeve
apron.
has great faith in me, and he thinks that I can
Do your magic flippy thing.
mix this. I have a thing. It's not famous, but I say it's famous because it makes me sound cool. Popcorn toss, where I toss the popcorn in the bowl and it doesn't make a big mess everywhere. We did, as you can see, had to move this into this bus tub because that bowl was not big enough. It was really mounting over. And I drained the all the liquid out of the sausage that was in the bottom of the pan. So this is going to go in here. This is the part, right? This is the part I'm afraid of tossing. Look at this.
This is going to be awesome. I'm glad the camera's rolling.
Yeah. I am not glad the camera's rolling on this. There's way too much stuff in this pan. Or in this bin. I don't know that I can do this.
I forgot that the sausage still had to go in there.
Yeah. All right.
It's probably not a good idea.
No, it's a horrible idea, but we should do it anyways.
Ooh. It's flying.
Just a little bit. I got it, dude. Table's clean. I'm doing it.
I see that.
We're not making a big mess.
Now you're dropping meat. It's getting
No,
serious
I'm
now.
not.
What's that?
Hey. I'm in a mess, dude.
I know. Glad we washed this table.
I know, right? Okay. We are pretty pre-mixed here. I only lost about a quart of contents. So we'll get this cleaned up. And time to get jars out. Okay, we got everything mixed. I cleaned up my giant mess. Get the cutting board put away. And so now we're going to pack these jars. These are just quart jars. We're gonna pack them all the way to the shoulder. So this is gonna have an inch of head space. So I'm gonna pack it down as far as I can because we do need to add liquid to this. Just so that it reaches the right temperature in the pressure canner. I don't dry can potatoes. Some people do, but not Miss Crystal. And so I'm gonna try to take up as much space as I can with all the goods so that there's less water and it doesn't dilute the flavors as much. We're gonna fill the jars with water to where this glass rib is at the bottom of the rim here. If you didn't want to use water, I mean, you really could use chicken stock or whatever, beef stock, you know, that would be fine too. Yeah. But I don't want to go get all the chicken stuff. No, you can't fill it full of butter. No butter.
Don't listen to Mr. Reed.
Correct. I think we're going to get more than 12 quarts out of this.
I love this plan.
Oh my gosh. We didn't preheat the water. It's just room temperature water. And that's because when I put everything in the canner will be room temperature, and everything in the contents of the jar is going to be room temperature. So it'll come up to temperature on its own. That's just how I do it. Like I said, lots of times now you can do what you want in your kitchen. That's not the approved way to do it, but that's the way I'm doing it.
Take that.
Take that. Mr. Reeve is taking straight white vinegar and cleaning the rims of the jars. Because we're using this ground pork in there, it has fat on it, or fat in it. And if you get any fat on this rim of that jar, the ring's not going to seal, or the lid's not going to seal. There you go. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope I mixed this good. Otherwise, you're going to get one jar with all the jalapenos in it.
That'll be a zesty morning.
Yeah, zesty. Why'd you get 1,200 things done today, Mr. Reeve? Oh, you must have got that jar. All right, so we ended up with 19 quarts. Pressure can at 10 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes. And it looks like we're going to be doing a couple batches. Already all night canner time.
Yeah, boys.
Yeah. But then we will quickly get started on the next project and show you the next way we're going to can potatoes, which is much faster and much easier. Okay, we're going to do our next 2 potatoes at the same time. My small canner only fits 7 quart jars at a time. So although we still have 2 bus tubs of potatoes, I'm going to show you the 2 different ways that we can shove it all in one canner, and then all night long, Mr. Reeve and I will be canning more potatoes without
more taters.
More taters. So, Mr. Reeve, you're just going to can regular old potatoes. Okay. So he's going to take all these little ones and put them in jars, and we'll can them up and then just use them when we have soups and things. So I am going to make a head rosemary garlic mashed potatoes, which
I know, I'm excited
we're excited about. So I took some of these medium potatoes from the bin over there, and I'm gonna cut them in pretty big chunks because we don't want it to turn to mush, right? It's gonna be in the pressure canner for a bit. So
take that, Floor.
Take that, Floor. All right, so we're gonna fill the jar with taters. Taters. Then we're gonna get 4 cloves of garlic for each one. You can put less if you want, but we like lots of garlic. And then I'm gonna put about a tablespoon, maybe not that much, huh?
Dude, get after it. I love rosemary.
We'll see.
Yeah. Do you think that's too much?
I think it's too much when I can it, yeah. So we're gonna do about 2 teaspoons of rosemary in each jar.
Did you measure that, rosemary?
I did. It's perfect. Metric.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
I metriced it in my hand.
I metriced it in my hands. Yep. And then if I could borrow the water, Mr. Reeve.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. You can fill it up with water if you want. Like I said before, if you want to fill it up with chicken stock, you can. We're going to give it 1 inch of head space.
I need a small potato for my tater puzzle.
Oh,
There you go.
It's like Tetris taters.
It's like Tetris taters.
You got a paper towel over there I could borrow?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Nice doing business with you. Now, these potatoes don't have any grease on them because we didn't put any sausage in them, so we don't need the vinegar. If you want to, you can, but it's not necessary. Then we're going to put our lid on. The rubber side goes on the rim of the jar, right? Okay. And then we're going to put the ring on finger tight, which means we are going to spin it till it just catches, and then we're going to turn it 1/8 of the circumference of the jar, a little bit more, and then it's ready to go in the canner when we get the rest of these jars done. That's a big one.
He's gonna fit, because I said.
Persistence.
Okay,
it's a
baby.
virtue. All right, so we're going to keep canning until we cry. And then we will meet you back when all the jars are ready to show off. Bye-bye. These are going to can for 40 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure because there's no meat in these guys, so we don't have to can them forever. How many do you think we're going to get out of this deal?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, it's the next day. We're still canning away over here. Here's how the regular potatoes in a jar came out, and here's how our breakfast in a jar came out. Mr. Reeve is outside getting us some firewood. So I figured it's a great time to show you how breakfast in a jar cooks up in the pan and give Mr. Reeve something yummy to eat when he comes inside. I hope there's not too much of glare over here. First thing we're gonna do is get this all strained out. Remember, we put that water in there and we don't want to eat that. So I say we probably ended up with only about 3/4 of a cup of water in each of these jars. Smells good. You can really smell the peppers in it. All right, cast iron pan on the stove. This is some of the lard that we rendered down. Actually, this lard we rendered down 1.5 years ago, and it's still beautifully shelf stable. I did a rendering tallow video that seems to be pretty popular, but it's a pretty unique way of rendering down lard and tallow, and I rendered them both down the same way. If you're interested in it, I'll link it at the very end, and I'll put a link in the description as well if you want. But okay, so we're gonna put, I don't know, a tablespoon, however much you need to make sure it doesn't stick in your pan. Let that melt down. Pan's nice and hot now. Now, because these potatoes are soft from canning and they're already pre-cooked, right? I'm gonna let them just fry away in this lard for a while before I touch them or stir them or anything, so that that first layer, that first crispy layer on those potatoes can get established, and that'll help hold the integrity of the potato a little bit more. At least that's what we're hoping anyways. Okay, guys, we have to compete with the canner now. But I have some sourdough bread from my lovely friends from Life in Alaska on the skillet portion there, turning into toast. And I want to show you these potatoes. Look at the color of that. Not too bad for canned potatoes, huh? Because I just left them alone and let them brown up. So next, it's time to cook up some eggs. All right, I got all the potatoes pushed to one side. We are going to cook a goose egg. If you don't know anything about geese eggs, you have to whack the shells hard. It's like concrete. You ready for it?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That smells so good.
Yeah. Taste?
Yeah. Okay.
See what you think.
Taters.
Taters!
Mmm.
You don't need salt and pepper?
Mm-mm.
Good. Look at that one egg, you guys. That's one goose egg. It's the same volume of 3 chicken eggs, if you didn't know. Yeah. So in the end here, when this canner load's done, we'll be done with potatoes for the day. Take that shirt. We will have made 49 quarts of potatoes. When we go to make the rosemary garlic mashed potatoes, I'm just going to empty the whole contents of the jar in a pan, heat it up, liquid and all. When it gets hot, I'm going to drain the liquid out and then immersion blend it and add some butter and salt and pepper.
That sounds awesome.
Awesome. You know what else is awesome?
What else is awesome?
There's more of that in the pan. You want me to make you up some breakfast burritos for the week?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video.
Bye. So now can we grow more potatoes than Josh?
Yes, now we can grow more potatoes than Josh.